We have a logo. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to swear.
You're also not supposed to talk during the logo video.
Oh, nobody
But
nobody told me what to do.
there was a document. Jeffrey wrote up a very thoughtful document and sent it out. Hello, welcome to our stream. I'm Jeff Salt. I am hosting this in place of Jeff Card today. With me is Jørgen, our technical director, and in the driver's seat we have Brant.
Hello.
Jørgen, why the hell are you on stream today? Oh, heck, PG-13 stream. Why the heck are you on stream today?
I am here to talk about the upcoming update that's coming later this month that we are very excited about, internally codenamed CU10, but it is the Critical Response Pack. And I think, we've put a lot of thought and effort into this to be more than just new weapons. Like, we want it to be a new way to engage with the game, which sounds a little froofy, I guess, but I think that one of the things we really have noticed as we, as Brant and his team have been doing a great job of adding a lot of interesting weapons is that it just gets kind of harder and harder for people to find the weapons that they care about and that they're excited about. And so I think we wanted to help people be able to figure out how, to pursue a specific weapon that they're interested in getting. So that's kind of the big ticket item that we're pushing with this update. Are you almost?
I'm gonna do one thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
mouse is hovering over the actually show the game button.
Yeah.
All right.
So here we have Brant in his beautiful four-wheel drive vehicle, no-name brand. And what you'll notice probably, first of all, is in the top right corner, there's a new piece of UI.
Yes, active bounties. So what exactly are bounties?
Brant, do you want to?
Well, after you play for a while, you're going to get a call to go visit Mr. Bounty.
Oh, Mr. Bounty, that's his name, right?
Okay, it's not his name, but we're going to introduce him. So you drive around the map and find it. It's in the 3 maps. You drive up. It's impossible to miss because here we have Cash Beaumont. Hello, Cash. And Cash has a all-terrain vehicle created by our wonderful vehicle and hard surface artist Dan Mode, who you saw last week. Oh, and there's a zombie here chewing on me.
Nice.
And Cash, as soon as I dispatch with zombie, Cash has been a busy man. He's been rounding up various items that people like and will likely need in the apocalypse. And he periodically goes from place to place and opens up a little shop out of the back of his awesome vehicle here. And obviously he's settled in for the long haul on this map because he's got his stuff out.
And it really is a great vehicle. Being a technical director, I don't have much impact I don't have a lot of direct involvement with the art side of things, and so it's gorgeous for me to just be able to see these things that they put together appear in the world. And there is so much detail to this vehicle that I'm just really, really excited about.
Yeah, we all had fun working on this vehicle. Dan, like I said, Dan made the vehicle, and then I did some work on the set dressing, and then Dan, Mark, and I worked on the guns that he's selling in this pack. So you walk up and talk to Cash, and we can talk about bounties. You'll see up here on the screen, sorry, I'm pointing, but you guys can't see what I'm pointing at.
In the top right corner.
Top right corner, we had already activated some bounties. One of them is ready to return. He's already given you these bounties, and these bounties are basically little tasks that are important to Cash, and he doesn't like zombies, right? And so he has various ways in which you can dispatch the different types of zombies, and as a reward, he'll give you access to these different weapon packs that we have on offer.
Yeah.
So you walk up and you talk to him. Let's talk about bounties, and let's see, the one that we've completed. We can turn in, and you get a freebie.
Bam.
Nice.
You get 1 for doing the task, and then you can come back and purchase that weapon at a later date for
Influence.
influence.
Very
So
nice.
you can see down here at the bottom, you can see the different packs that are available, and now it just shows a little price and a little kind of the outline turns into filled-in gun to show that now you can just buy more of these if you want.
Nice.
Yeah. And there are other. Oh crap! There's a.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
no.
You'll notice that Cash Beaumont is also a pacifist, so he's not going to involve himself. So all you guys who are thinking that you can kite zombies over to Cash,
Yep. Now, there's already a question earlier in the feed. Somebody was asking whether Cash can die, and no, he will not attract the attention of these zombies because he is a gentleman who will stand on the sidelines and not involve himself and leave you to do the heavy lifting.
That's right.
Is his preference.
he's a slick salesman,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Just come up with whatever hypothetical fan fiction lore reason you would like for
That's
why
right.
Cash is immune to zombie attention.
You'll also notice that Cash has a light source, so you can see him at night. He's
Oh,
going
that's
to be
nice.
he's going to be easy to find.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I see him. He's got a nice suit on. One of my favorite little features is that his wardrobe changes over time, and so as you come back to the game, he might be wearing a different suit.
That's right.
And,
Same guy, different suit,
yeah.
because you never want to be seen in the same threads twice when you're, a
It's gonna
snake.
show
also.
his kind of influence. I think this is not my favorite of his. He does have a purple suit, which it's definitely my favorite. But it's not what he wants to wear today.
So you'll see as I go through the various options here in the critical response pack, there's different levels of things to do. Kill 10 hordes, kill 9 bloaters with pistols, various little tasks that he likes to
Yeah.
that he likes to
And
assign.
they start, out with things that you're going to be able to do maybe over a short, 20 to 40 minute session or something like that. And some of them are longer term tasks that you kind of either have to put in devoted time to or kind of leave on in the background as you're playing through the game, and you'll see progress being made as you go. They sort kind of in that order roughly, so the ones in the top will be the faster ones, and the ones at the bottom will be the ones that take longer.
Yeah, so probably the one we're going to work on next is kill 50 zombies with vehicles. And then down at the bottom, you're going to see kill 12 plague hearts.
Nice.
Yeah. Somebody asked if if you can activate all of them. So it's that's not. You can only activate 3 at a time. So you kind of have to choose which ones you want to pursue. If you deactivate them, the progress will still be saved, but you won't make more progress towards them.
An important thing to note is that bounty progress is shared across all of your communities. So if you happen to have a community where you have cleared all of the plague hearts and you still want to get the cleared 12 plague heart bounty, then you can start a new community and then you can go and kill all the plague hearts there.
Yep. Somebody asked about where Jeffrey is. He's just on vacation. He's just out of the office right now.
We actually let him leave once in a while.
Yeah, he
Occasionally.
deserves a break too.
Occasionally.
Somebody asked where Cash shows up, and he shows up in the same location every time you come back. He's not randomly placed. He has a home site, as you would call it, or he has a spot where he likes to park his vehicle in each map. So everybody will be able to find him in the same spot. There was a question about whether this is the only way to find the weapons. And for right now, the weapons that are in the critical response pack, all of them are only accessible through bounties, and so you're going to have to complete these to unlock them. At that point, they're unlocked for your entire account, and so you will be able to buy them on your other communities if you want to. Yeah.
And that was a conscious decision on our part because the new weapons are really cool, and we didn't want you to be dependent on the random number generator
Yeah.
in the loot system to find this cool stuff.
Yeah, that was an issue that we had with especially things like the World War II weapons, where we added all these new weapons to the game, and then people just couldn't find it because like if you have to search through every single container in order to find them, and then it's not like we were only spawning the World War II weapons. It was just those were mixed in with all the other ones.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we wanted to give you a way that you can directly look for these specific weapons.
Yeah, and there were a couple of questions about this too, which is, how common is he, or is he like, do you call him like a trader? Does he randomly appear? He's always in the world.
He is
and
in
he's
the
always
world.
in the same spot, and
Yep.
so you can go back to him whenever you want to, and you don't have to kind of be at the whim of the random number generator. And so this is very much intended to be like a way for you to go and say, I want this weapon. What do I do to do it? And then pursue that goal.
Yep.
There was also a question of whether or not the system is done forever after you do those 15 bounties. And the way it's set up right now, with this patch, you'll get the access to the first 15 bounties through the critical response pack. He also actually sells all the World War II items that we released in CU8, I think it was.
Yep.
And the decision there was kind of like, how can we, help reduce that randomness that we used to have, but we don't have bounties associated with them. So since you could already have found them in the world, now instead of there being a World War II trader, you can just go buy them from Cash Beaumont.
That's right.
He just sells them right off the bat, like a permanent trader.
It also, indicates the scalability of this delivery system, right?
Right, yeah.
So,
And over the course of the coming months, we're going to be introducing new things to get through the bounty system, new ways to accomplish bounties. Right now, all the bounties are various increasingly interesting ways to kill zombies, but we could have more bounty types in the future. So,
Yeah, right now we're thinking about ways to extend the system that will.
look at that.
Oh,
Bounty
Brant got it.
complete.
all right.
All right, so I will head back and get my bounty.
So the thought is that we want to increase the number both of items, like as we update, we will have more packs of weapons you can unlock, but also the number of verbs that you use when you pursue this, so that there's not just go kill blank as the way to do it. But right now, Cash is fresh on the field, and he's hungry for blood, and so he
right.
wants to kind of tamp down on the zombie population a little bit, and so you gotta give him some make sure that he can trust you and keep him safe, So that's kind of your first goal, and as we extend the system, we're definitely hoping to find interesting other ways for you to interact with him.
Right. So we've got another question from chat. So now that we have an alternate way to get World War II weapons, will the World War II trader be taken out of rotation?
Yes, and he already is in this
Cool.
update.
Nice.
Just here's the World War II pack, so you can see all the good stuff you found there. Yeah.
And to answer the questions that will happen immediately, not all the packs, eventually, let's say we have 50 packs, not all of them will be available at all times.
Ah, so
So-
we might rotate through them.
Oop,
Nice.
I got to take care of a little
Yeah, so
problem,
whatever the
child
most
there.
recent pack is, recent few packs will always, of course, be the thing that you can focus on. And then the plan is that we will rotate in the older ones, so you will get another chance if they go out of rotation, but you might have to play, during the month of whatever to get the specific pack that you're looking for.
We keep getting a bunch of questions, since we're on the topic of weapon purchasing, whether or not we're going to be introducing new ways to get prestige so you can get the Daybreak weapons and ammo. Prestige is something that is definitely, we're thinking about it a lot. It is a great way for us to expose content to people, and we have yet to come up with any concrete plans at the moment for how we're going to be able to get you more prestige and more things to buy with prestige in the future. But yeah, rest assured, we are thinking about that.
Yeah, getting prestige into the economy is high on our list, and we just want to make sure we do it in a fun and interesting way.
Yeah.
There's also a question about Dread and Nightmare, and so if you play on those difficulties and you pursue those bounties on those difficulties, they'll be the same bounties. They'll be harder. There's specifically a question about cars. Like if you're supposed to run over zombies, you might have to be more careful about using the door to get zombies to complete that thing. You're just kind of setting your own difficulty on those bounties. The goals themselves are the same.
So you still have to kill 12 screamers. It's just that getting out and finding 12 screamers will be perilous.
Yeah. This question about if you can still loot them once they go out of rotation. How we currently use it, none of the items are available in loot. They're exclusively through the bounty broker. And so if you want to find them, when they're as we add more packs, we're definitely entertaining the notion of maybe having some rare items that are only available through the loot that's not available through the bounty.
Shh. Windows update. We don't need
We
this.
don't
We don't need this. Where's the?
Here, take us off screen for a second.
Yeah, take it off screen for a second.
Oh, I'm being attacked by a feral too, which is great timing.
All right, so so just in case.
Oh my God.
Snooze.
We had.
Okay.
You can pause.
There we
You
go.
can pause. There we go.
I couldn't
There we go.
pause while.
This is
Wow.
So yes, we had a couple of questions about the game looking super smooth. This game is in fact being played on one of our super powered development PCs. So we've got our the full glory of our whatever graphics card is in here on display, and of course Windows Update because they decided to push this thing on all of us. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. What else do we got? How about feature of zombie kill of the week?
I'm about to show player kill of the week.
Ah, nice.
We should go hunt some screamers with that new sniper rifle you
Well,
got.
Well, okay, so there's a feral. There's things first.
I do have a feral problem.
Oh
here.
no! Oh no!
You got snacks.
Get in the car. Get in
the
the car.
Yeah, let's see how long he lets me do that.
Oh no. Nice. Nice.
So there's some questions. There's more questions about loot for the bounties. Specifically, like the World War II pack weapons, I believe are in the loot tables just as like they always were.
Yes.
So those haven't changed.
As far as I know.
Yeah. So anything that has dropped in loot previously will still drop in loot. But yeah.
Do I need to? Oh, there's a screamer right there.
Ah, nice.
Do I have to kill him with rifles?
You have to kill him with a rifle. Do you have a rifle?
You got the
I
police.
have a rifle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a question about whether or not these are accessible through.
Whoa, my
Heartland.
goodness!
Oh, you are.
This is
You're attracting.
this is
friends.
just not fun.
Uh,
I mean, it's great fun. That's what I meant.
I'm having fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't just get in your car and drive home.
Because there was 37 glowing eyes. 36, sorry.
There's a question about gas masks and mechanics around it, which are, I feel like it's an ongoing question. It's an interesting notion too, because I think that gas masks seem like a smaller feature, but like it has impact on a lot of audio needs since we have a fair amount of VO in the game.
Right.
And so we always take that into consideration when we think about future features.
Oh my goodness. Lots
Wow,
of zombies
you're
out here.
Making a lot of friends.
Yeah, similar to the question we had last week about rain. As soon as you get rain, you have to re-record everything just wet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a audio and art nightmare.
Yeah.
So there was a question about multiplayer and whether the bounties are tracked separately. So yeah, bounties are associated with your account. If you play in multiplayer with a friend, if you play by yourself, you pursue your own goals. And so you can go to you can visit Beaumont while you're in somebody else's game. You can browse your own bounties and you can choose what you want to pursue. So you're always able to do that, and you can help each other out when you're doing that.
Can a friend give you their weapons once they've unlocked them?
No, the weapons work kind of like the Daybreak special unlocks do, and so you need to have completed the challenge or gotten to that level to be able to pick them up or to use them. So you're not, you can't take them from your friend, but your friend can help you kill screamers, for example, to help you achieve that on your own.
We've got a question about taking Heartland characters through bounties. Is Cash going to show up in Heartland?
Cash only shows up in the base game. If you're playing multiplayer and you join somebody else's game, you can join with your own communities. You can bring your own kind of critical response weapons into that game. But if you're playing through the stories in Heartland, your community kind of is separate from how the bounties are set up.
Cool.
I think I need to switch my character because this one is really hurting.
There's a question about difficulties again. If they unlock on different difficulties, the unlocks are just across the board. If you've unlocked them on your account, they're accessible on all difficulties, no matter where you unlock them.
Cool.
These are all characters from last week's show, so they all have super cool unlocked weapons already.
So there was a specific programming question that says, is it hard to have the game understand when someone is using a rifle versus a shotgun to get a kill? So it was actually interesting because I assumed that I was going to save a ton of work because we have the mission system already in place that I did a lot of the work on that just does objective updates. And so like if you might have an objective to kill a zombie with a shotgun, and so we already had kind of those hooks in place. And I set all that up, and it did save a lot of work. But one of the interesting problems was that there's been some bugs in the objective system that hadn't been surfaced yet, and so there were certain types of kills that would track multiple times. But since they were usually associated with a thing where you're like, go kill a bloater, if you killed a bloater and you got credit for killing 4, nobody noticed. But once we had these bounties in place, we suddenly uncovered all these multiple like multi-counting we did in the base mission system. So those are going to be improved in the next update. We'll fix those bugs.
So there should be, yep. All right, so I should be able to go deal with these infestations and get my screamer count.
Do you have a rifle with you, and you got some bullets?
I have a rifle with bullets.
Good.
Cool.
I think I am going to check and see if we cheated any suppressors last time.
I think everyone should have a suppressor in their inventory if the weapon... Yeah, in your inventory, right there.
Oh, perfect. I'm just going to try and make it easier on myself. All right, let's go get these guys.
I mean, one thing that maybe hasn't been emphasized, but you probably saw it in last week's stream, but we have in the inventory now, there's a little decal that indicates which pack a weapon came from, and so all the new critical response weapons have this little critical response logo on it. But since we were doing this work, and we put the World War II weapons on the bounty broker, they also get that treatment now. So you can kind of tell if you're collecting, if you want to get the whole set, or you want to just see kind of where something came from, it'll have that little World War II star on it now in the green treatment.
Nice.
Because I didn't do my homework before this, I'm also seeing that.
They don't have grenades or consumables or anything.
Well,
like that on
and
those.
she's also this character also has the melee from the new pack as well,
nice.
Which is fine. You guys have.
Which is cool.
This is not something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, this is all last week's content, just fresh with
off.
quests. Speaking of which, we have a question. Are we going to have any new achievements for this pack?
Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, are we having any new achievements for this?
So there's not going to be any new achievements associated with this pack. We do kind of consider as we go along, we can whether or not we're going to add new achievements. We have a fixed kind of like on the Xbox platform, you get kind of a fixed amount you get to add every year when you're an ongoing service game. But I think in this case, we thought of the completing the bounties as kind of its own achievement. Like it's a permanent unlock on your account, and you get to see which ones you've already completed. So there are no new achievements with this update.
Mm-hmm.
I just really didn't want to get the attention of.
Are you finding any screamers over there?
Well, I know there's gonna be. I'm just really scared because it's nighttime.
Nope.
We got another question about will the maximum
There's
number
one
of
right there.
bullets we can carry
Bing.
per slot ever be increased? And I'm surfacing this one because it is a personal pain point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we never say never, right? Like, except for in that case. But I don't think we're gonna very rarely make commitments about things we're never gonna do. I do think that the stack size and things like that ties into how we balance our inventory system and your carrying capacity, and because we have two kind of aspects. We have the weight and then the number of slots you have available to you. So I think that it's kind of a bigger conversation about how we balance our inventory. So I don't think that there's nothing happening in this update about the stack size for ammo.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a question about, you've often mentioned that X would require too many resources. That is actually
and a feral.
And
For my
the question was whether or not we were talking about development resources or system resources. Most of the time we're talking about development resources.
Yep.
I'm in trouble.
Basically, let me get Brant's face on screen too.
Oh my goodness.
If he's in the middle of all this. But usually we're talking about development resources. So we unfortunately do not have as many programmers, designers, artists, sound guys, and producers as we would really like in order to be able to get everything that we want to see
jump
in.
the wall.
So we
least,
have to.
please. Oh boy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's
Right.
a lot of the time it's also kind of a trade-off, right? Like you have to decide where you want to allocate your development resources. Because
Oh, no.
uh,
Did you hitch? Did
Yeah.
you freeze? Oh no.
We are
The-
using a development build, so this happens
Yep.
more often.
Yeah, our development builds have some very robust crash reporting stuff. So if we hit something that is the slightest bit amiss,
Yeah, let's switch
sometimes
away
the
from
Yeah.
stream.
game will just hitch for a little while. But also while we are tabbed away, then we can also set the time of day to dawn so that we can actually see things a little bit better.
Yeah, let's do that.
But while that's all rebooting.
It's a question from, I'm assuming, a Swede based on the last name, asking whether or not I'm from Norway, and I am, in fact, from Norway.
Also, that's the wrong
Born
O.
and raised.
That's the wrong O. That's O double dot instead
That's
of
why I
a
say
slash.
that it's probably from a Swede.
I see.
Yeah, there's a. I think that we were talking about development resources, and I think that it's good to clarify because I do think we use resources as kind of like a common phrase that has a meaning
Right.
to us, and so it's good to clarify that we do talk about development resources most of the time.
Right.
But it's not so much like whether or not there literally are enough people to do the work, but it is for every piece of work you choose to do, you're choosing not to do something else, right?
Right.
Like you have to prioritize what's most important for you to get fixed and improved and implemented, and so that's always kind of the trade-off.
Oh. Right. You should also switch time of day as soon as you get the
Yeah.
cheat command up. Although we also do talk about system resources. One of our most common features is can we leave headlights on when you get out of the car, and that is actually a system resources thing. There's actually now we can actually show interesting things. So there's a maximum number of dynamic lights that we can have in the scene. We can add more, but they start looking less and less good. So we've kind of made the decision that we really want, just from a performance standpoint, we want to make sure that all the lights you see look really good. And then also from a design standpoint, our nights are very dark because they are scary. And letting you just kind of flood an entire building with your car headlights also kind of takes away from that design decision a little bit. So kind of both.
There was a question about what this is going to be, like what the cost of this is going to be, and this is a free update. I don't know if we have mentioned it on this stream, but probably mentioned it last week. This is just going to be free for everyone. And
Well, it's $1 million per person, but we've decided to pay that cost. Yes?
generously.
Yes, yes. That would be Phil Spencer and Major Nelson digging deep into their pockets and providing you all with licenses to this content. Absolutely.
I mean, this is coming out later this month, so we're
Yeah,
excited about it.
And yeah, so we're actually really excited that we're able to give you streams of new content, all free of charge.
So we've got a kind of follow-up question about whether or not, like now that we have Microsoft money, whether we're kind of. Oh wait, hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
Henry followed up.
Okay.
Followed up. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that,
Okay.
and then the warning
That's
not
fine.
to answer that, and then Henry's response.
Oh,
Yeah. So basically, we're still mostly a standalone business. We make a lot of our own decisions, and honestly, working with Microsoft is pretty great. So we are happy to be able to keep supporting this game, and we can do that with thanks to Microsoft.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we did not. There was not. There's not just like 1 million Microsoft programmers in the back. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
we're the same employees that we've always been, and so and we make our own decisions about who we hire and who works on our game, and that's something that we take very seriously. I think we choose our coworkers carefully. I think.
Yes, very much so. We've got a great bunch of people here.
so I'm going to come back and return another bounty,
Cool.
and you'll notice that in the time I was getting my spleen chewed on, he's decided to change his outfit to a very snazzy striped coat.
Well, I was about to ask who does his dry cleaning, but he's got his sleeve partially torn off. So
Well, it is the apocalypse.
I mean, that's no excuse not to look good.
I would say that he looks great. Don't listen to him, Cash.
Quincy in Heartland shows up in his like nice smart suit and he's got a nice big tear in it. I mean, come on, like bring a sewing kit or something like that. Like stitch that up.
Yeah, isn't there a cosplayer in
Heartland? Yeah.
Yeah, in Heartland there should be somebody who knows how to fix a suit.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't need to buy a new one because I had that one already. Well, anyways, I just showed you that you can buy those things too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I see there are kind of some recurring questions about specifics about, there was the ammo stacking question, and then there's like a backpack stacking question, and a lot of different things like that. I think Joe is going to be your guy who's going to, like we were talking about, everything is about prioritizing how we spend our resources, and so, Joe keeps tabs on everything that all of you want, and we try to see how we can best fit that into our schedule. Yeah, there's definitely a question about how many outfits does Cash Beaumont, hide in that beautiful van of his. And
It's a very large van.
who knows?
He's
Yeah.
and he's an efficient packer.
Yeah, and I mean, what is he doing while you're not out killing zombies? Maybe
Oh,
he's
I'm getting chewed
looking
on
for
again.
good like Men's Warehouse type places and expanding his collection. So I don't know. I can't really answer that.
So we've got a question about whether or not bounties refresh. No. You complete one bounty per one thing that you would like to unlock, and as soon as you've got that unlocked, that bounty is complete, and that weapon is yours forever. Yep. Well, yours to buy forever.
They do kind of refresh in the sense that we plan to update the game with more bounties, adding new weapons and new ways to get them, and so they do expand from that. There's also a question about a max bounty limit that we kind of answered. Like, there's no max on how many you can complete. You can complete all of them, but you will only track progress to up to three at a time.
Yeah.
So you see in the top right corner right now, these are the ones that are active, and some active bounty is one that you're choosing to make progress towards, and that you are tracking.
That's what I needed, a
tracking your
shotgun.
status for. So we can have up to 3 of those at a time.
I did need the shotgun because I'm going to try to do. I'm going to put that down.
The weapons do come loaded. That was another question. They you get 1 magazine worth of bullets. After that, hopefully you have the facilities to make your own. Because Cash prioritizes the really valuable prizes. Yep, you can always, like, if you have a weapon and you, for example, you legacy your community, like you have a bounty unlocked weapon and you legacy a community, you can take that character, into a new community, and you will be able to use that weapon there. You will be able to give it to other people in that community, and if they go talk to Cash, they can spend influence to buy more versions of that weapon as well.
I have to kill 100 Zeds with shotgun.
That shouldn't take very long. The shotgun is quite an excellent and efficient Zed killing weapon.
There's a question about like having a really hard weekly bounty that is like you only have a week to complete and it gives you a really cool thing. We've definitely talked about kind of how we want to do time limited content. We're not doing anything with this update, but it's definitely something that we're considering going forward, and how we can kind of like give you that special treat of like, oh, you were here for that moment and you did this cool, like you had this, limited amount of time to do this cool thing, and you did it, and that's
Right.
like a badge of honor. But at the same time, we there's kind of a trade-off of we don't want too much of the game to be inaccessible if you started playing, for example, the week after that rare bounty was available. We don't want you to feel like you're suddenly there's like half the game is inaccessible to you because you weren't there at the time, and so it's kind of a balancing act of rewarding new players versus ongoing players too.
Right. We've also got a question about whether we're going to add some of the rare normal weapons, such as like the grenade launchers, to the bounty system. Are we? I don't think so as of this point, but there's always potential for.
So I like the way we've set it up right now. We're not, and this is kind of why we chose to do this for the World War II weapons too. Is that things that you've already earned. We haven't set it up so that you would we're going to lock those away,
my.
and so there are not going to be bounties associated with it. But we have definitely discussed kind of like having rare variants of weapons and things like that are accessible through the bounty system. We try to keep like a theme for each pack, and so it's kind of a question of what fits into those packs. So. There's a limit on the quantity. Like, is there a limit on the quantity of a particular weapon you can buy from cash? No. I mean, your influence, your wallet. Like,
Yep.
what do you carry around? You know.
Yep.
Well, since I'm out of shotgun shells, I can try to do the.
There's a question of if we make daily or premium bounties, how can one learn that there are special bounties available? I mean, that's a very good question, right? Like, that's a thing we would have to solve before we could do that. I think that we don't want anything that punishes, like, we want to do something that punishes you for, for not having started the game for a week. Like, we want to make sure that you're aware of anything we do that's time limited. And so that's kind of, I think, one of the reasons we chose not to do anything for this pack was, we would have to do a good job of communicating it and messaging it so that it doesn't feel unfair and dissatisfying.
We've got a question about why does every single character model wear pants? Because pants are quite honestly very practical in the apocalypse.
Yep.
Also, it is, speaking of development resources, it is actually quite hard to make things like skirts, especially longer ones, look good. So it is like, do we want more outfits, or do we want, I guess, skirts?
And I mean, like, this is something that you work on, right?
Yeah.
Like the moment-to-moment gameplay of climbing and jumping
Right.
over things, like that becomes pretty complicated with clothing that's not form-fitting to the character.
Right.
And so, that's just trade-offs, I guess.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna. Since I can't find shotgun shells, I'm just going to melee the heck out of these guys. Except that one over there, I'm going to hit him with a car because I don't like those guys. Oh, not anymore.
Too fast. Bring back yoga pants.
Bring back yoga pants. Yoga pants are already back.
This is one of the new rifles.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
We've got the same question that gets asked every stream. Can we get character customization? Stay tuned. We cannot talk about current or future plans.
Yeah, you guys know this. That's rule number 1. Don't ask us what we're doing
Just be
next.
excited that we're talking
Your-
about this that's not out yet, right?
That's right.
Get hype.
That's
Your-
new for us.
Your desires have been noted, and it is something that we are very aware that the community is interested in seeing, and we cannot talk about whether or not we are actually going to do anything with that in the immediate future.
Yo! Why? This is a
There's
hospital.
a question about whether bounties will sometimes target other enclaves. Right now, that's not the case. I think that, we try to treat human people in our game with a fair amount of respect, I think. And
yeah, our whole game is about trying to figure out how to live in the apocalypse when humans are probably the most valuable commodity.
Right.
And while we also simulate disputes between people, that is certainly not the center of our system.
Yeah.
So
I think we might have bounties that target other enclaves in more of a sense of helping them or working with them, things like that might be on the docket, but not in the kind of hunt them down, I think, aspect.
I mean, who knows?
Sounds unlikely.
We may end up running out of bounty ideas and then turn to murder. But
Maybe. Hopefully not.
yeah, it's
Or we could phrase them tactfully, like find an unfriendly or hostile enclave and make them no longer hostile.
Take care of the problem.
right.
I don't want to know the details. Just make it go away.
Oh, I kicked him right in the zombie crotch.
We also keep getting a bunch of questions on beards. I actually don't know the reason why we... Oh, no, we don't have beards because all the face models have slightly different geometry on them.
Yeah.
So having to adapt a bunch of beards to fit a bunch of different faces is actually a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different, hairstyles that are all, but they are easier to apply since the kind of top of the head is more commonly shaped than the bottom of the face.
We have I think we have exactly 2 skulls, one for men, one for women, and then we just have a bunch of different faces that we just kind of like shift all the bones around to match.
The face kind of covering stuff is easier because it's not so form fitted as beards are, but I think that we didn't feel like we could.
Oh, of course, this guy shows
up without investing a lot of resources.
Oh crap!
Ah, and you have a rifle too.
Yeah, none of this is going to go well. And I'm running away from my car. So
I mean, the other theory is that there's no beards in the game because Brant won't shave, and so we can't get your face with beard in the game.
Nobody wants my face.
I want his face in the game.
Nobody wants his face.
I mean, can you imagine anything better than just
Oh,
going on
good.
a suicide
Let's
run
just-
into Plague Heart on Nightmare with
Oh,
Brant?
come
Like,
on.
I mean, that sounds like the best character to bring in there.
We really should get somebody who actually knows how to play this game to play it, because I am obviously terrible.
Brad, aren't you like Mr. State of Decay? Shouldn't you know how to play this video
Listen,
game?
I've only been playing this game for 10 straight years.
Brad.
There's
So we're gonna give Brant the benefit of the doubt and say that he's in a dread zone and not
this
actually
totally nightmare.
not actually look at any of the actual difficulty screens.
No, please don't.
So,
Don't judge me.
Somebody asked, how many new weapons in this update? Is it 15 new weapons?
I think it's 15.
Brant would know and I wouldn't, so that's why I'm...
Well, there's some variants too.
Oh. Well, the grid in the bounty grid was a 3x5 grid, so that's 15.
Yep.
Unless there's extra special stuff.
Oh, actually, this one, since it's the critical response pack, I don't believe there's variants in this one.
Yeah, the World War II pack had variants. And
Yes.
we actually had a question
And-
earlier about whether or not the variant World War II weapons would show up as stuff you can buy from the bounty trader.
Yes.
Cool.
I say that
With such confidence.
with thinking yes.
An enormous asterisk, Brent is occasionally wrong.
Oh, it's more than occasionally.
We also keep getting a few questions about when this is going live. We don't have a explicit release date yet, but soon.
We are shooting for this month.
Yeah. Hoping to get this out towards the end of the month.
Cool. Well, I mean, it
And-
is rapidly approaching the end of the month.
Yes.
It is the 23rd. There are 8 days left in this month.
So we can say soon and not be liars.
Joe confirms that you can buy all variants of the World War II weapons from
Thanks, Joe.
Cash Beaumont. Thank you, Joe.
Maybe Joe should just come in here and play too. 'Cause
I mean,
I
he
do
literally is-
wonder why we
I-
don't have somebody like a QA tester who's like actually good at this.
I
job.
amaze myself with how bad I am at this game. Yeah, people like Scar watching, or Blaze, or Fall Down, or any of our longtime players are looking at this. Just try not to hurt yourself when you face palm.
Somebody asked if we could ask police and paramedic zombies. I do believe, aren't some of the helmeted zombies, aren't they
Well,
SWAT?
yeah,
They're
some of them are
Yeah,
SWAT.
we already have some police ones already in there.
Right.
Are we going to add more weapons in the future to the new bounty system? Yes. That is absolutely the plan.
The scalability of this system is dependent on a constant stream of awesome content.
Yeah, it was very much like one of the, like I said, there was a goal, like a design intent with the system was to give people a more active way to pursue getting new weapons, so that when we added new weapons, that was something that people could be like, I'm excited about this and I want to get it, and so what do I do? Instead of like look through 100 containers, so now we have like an actual path to that. But I do think that the other part of it too is that once we have that system in place, it makes a lot of sense that now it's much easier for us to meaningfully add new weapons to the game, because now they're not just like put on a large pile of loot that you're randomly going to run into in the world, but rather something that gives you kind of a path to pursue it. And so we're very excited about where we can take this going forward.
Take some snacks. Oh, take some more damage. Like I do.
There was a question about the rotations that we mentioned earlier
Yes.
in terms of the the weapon rotations, like the packs that are not all going to be available at the same time. For right now, that's not going to be a thing. Like everything that we're shipping right now is going to be there. This is more kind of a down the road once we've added enough packs that it feels like it's getting crowded. I think at that point we will start rotating things out. And we're going to find out. We're going to work on how we message it and how we show it to you that like this is going to become unavailable, or it will when it's going to become available again. But that's I can't answer any specifics because we haven't decided. But you can be confident that we're going to think about how we message it and to not kind of confuse you or make you disappointed that when you can't unlock it any longer.
Right.
We're going to make sure that's communicated well. We have a team of highly talented user interaction designer, user experience designer,
Yes,
who will
we
take
do.
a look at this. So, and I mean, I have to admit that I'm very excited about the new UI. There's a lot of for the bounty broker and for tracking the active bounties. It's got some nice touches to it.
Get off me! Don't eat me! I'm trying to
communicates the
show
information
people
well.
cool stuff.
We've also actually got a couple questions since we mentioned QA testers. We've got some people asking how to become a QA tester. Unfortunately, we're not hiring at the moment, but there's plenty of contracting firms that you might be able to find employment at. The games industry is always in need of like cool people who know how to play video games and have an eye for detail to kind of jump in and figure out how to make things slightly less broken.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like when I work with our QA staff, I think the quality that I appreciate the most is just people who communicate really well and really directly and
6 more Zeds.
understand how to explain the problems they're encountering or how to reproduce them, and so it's definitely important.
I'm just gonna drop the shotgun because it's useless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop that too, and this.
How are you doing on your bounties?
I only need to kill 6 more Zeds in close combat.
Yeah.
Now the question is, does it count when I stealth them? We'll
Believe-
find out right now.
We
I
will.
believe it should. Having implemented the system.
Well, we also have another category for do stealth
Yes.
kills. All
yeah,
right.
no, but I think the stealth kills are
Also close combat.
mutually. Yeah, they're mutually. They always have to count as a regular close combat kill. When new pack comes out, will the old packs go into influence to purchase or stay as bounties? As long as Cash Beaumont has them available, you will still have to complete the bounty. That's at least the current plan. We reserve the right to change our mind, but the only reason the World War II pack doesn't have any bounties associated with it is just because you could have already found those items in the war.
Yeah,
And
we didn't
so-
want you to have to re-bounty those.
Yeah, just to make it a little more kind of fair or not to take anything away from anyone.
No. We've also got a bunch of questions about flamethrowers. I think we mentioned this last stream, but one of the big problems that we kind of have with flamethrowers is that we have to figure out how to, it's another ammo type, and it's another set of animations.
It's
and
another ammo type, it's another set of animations, and fire particles are some of the
most
worst
expensive.
thing you can possibly display for runtime.
Oh yeah, as the guy who had to implement and then optimize, speaking of performance resources, the fire system, setting fire to a whole bunch of stuff would be actually kind of problematic.
Yeah, we actually had an interview question. We asked a lot of graphics programmers what their concerns were about implementing a fire system, which was, speaking to the complexity of doing that well and performantly.
All right, we are one zombie away
Yeah,
from
let's
getting our
do that
next.
and then head back to Cache and get some sweet loot.
There's our victim.
Oh yes, that's right. You have
This is the
fire.
kind of fight I like. Totally. Watch him kill me.
You're still gonna get wrecked.
Squish.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
And there is a temp text string obviously splashed across the screen right now that we've already addressed, but this is a build that is about a couple of hours before that was implemented.
We've got a question about whether the pre-order packs are going to go into the bounty rotation. I don't think so. I don't remember what the plan is.
That's actually surprisingly, I hadn't even thought of that until this moment, but now it's not going to be the case.
I recall that we were talking about some sort of plans regarding the pre-order stuff,
Let's get that
but
up in a moment.
I'm not entirely sure where those went. And even if I was sure where those went, I couldn't talk about them, so I don't know why I'm prevaricating here.
Yeah, so for those of you who weren't here when we first visited Cash Beaumont, this is the new bounty broker who will be, this is his fixed location in this map. Each location he will have one spot that he hangs out in. He will always be there. There's no kind of moving around. There was a question of what does EMP mean when you complete a bounty. It's actually truncated. It's supposed to say TEMP, temp. It's a temporary text string.
Oops.
It was just,
Oh, yes, and then we have...
Yeah. But anyway, so here we are at the bounty broker at Cash Beaumont's van of goods. Here you can see at the bottom all the different items that are part of the critical response pack. Some of them we've already completed the bounties for, and so we can just buy them for cash money. Yeah.
I've tabbed over to the World War II pack just to show you guys what we got going on. So to answer that question again, the variants are here. They're active. We can buy them. Since there's no bounties on these, this is straight up spending money or influence. So I'm going to grab the shotgun because I need it.
We have a shout out to actually give out. The Undead Trials are going on. We have a group of super fans.
Undead Trials.
Who put together some challenges. If you want to go to @TrialsUndead on Twitter to follow them and give them a look, then that would be great.
And consider participating in the future. It's a lot of fun. I played one of them. I guess I want to say last year or earlier this year. It was like the second one they did, I think. And it's challenging. It's fun. It's it's
completely community made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what our community puts together.
That's
right. We love you guys.
Yep. Let's see if there's any other questions.
Some of the reason why we're able to continue supporting State of Decay 2 is because of things like the trials.
Yeah.
Because it has shown the powers that be that there's a lot of interest and that this game has not run its course yet, right?
It's true.
So
we get excited, and then we will keep doing things to be excited about.
That's right.
There was a question about when it comes out and the weapon pack comes out. They come out together, so in the future we will be releasing new bounties without necessarily releasing a whole new system. They will just feed into the existing bounty broker. The plan is to get that out towards the end of the month.
And it may not always be guns, right? We may be able to come up with a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're so excited to be able to extend this and offer fun new things.
Yeah.
So.
And when you all get a chance to play with this, play through the bounties, we'd love to hear what are your ideas for fun ways to unlock weapons in the future. What's frustrating, what's exciting, what feels good. And we'll make adjustments as we go along. This is just the first type of bounty that we have right now, and in the future, hopefully, there will be lots of different ways to do it. Also, I just want to point out, Joe tells me that Blaze said that I played in the original Undead Trials, and I did great. This is a quote. I did great. So I just want everyone to know that.
But did he say it like? Oh, you did great.
I think it was a little bit. It was a little bless your heart.
You really did great.
Yeah. No, actually, I was totally carried by Blaze through that trials, but it was a lot of fun even so.
So we've also got a reminder from Wonder. We have a wish list going in Discord. So if you jump on our Discord, and I'm sure whoever's in charge of the bot is going to press the button right about now. If you've got suggestions, then jump on there and contribute there. Unfortunately, our Twitter is not quite the right place for that. So if you've got... Why are you running through your own...
Because I'm setting up an ingenious trap.
Yeah, you're just going to blow yourself up.
No.
The gas cloud is going to disappear by the
That's fine.
There's a link on Twitch to the Discord. It's a great place to go to give feedback, and that wishlist channel is the easiest way for us to track and consider,
Yeah.
prioritize different suggestions.
Right. It is discord.gg/undeadlabs, just in case you aren't seeing the link.
And yeah, I mean, we're talking about any feedback, any wish list items you can put there. But me personally, I worked a lot on this update and on the bounty broker system, and so I'm very interested in hearing what you all think about the system once you get to play with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not going to have a price. This is free. This is coming up as a free update. Everyone who owns the game will be able to play this.
Part of it was also the fact that Mark and Dan and occasionally I would just continue making guns for fun, and you guys just were sick of us begging you to find ways to put it in the game.
Yeah. I was like, I just want to give the keys to Brant, and then he can just figure it out. Like, you deal with all of this. But
thank goodness there's smart people who know how to make stuff happen, because I'm just
you don't give yourself
made
enough
cool,
credit.
made cool stuff.
I can't do what you do, Brant.
Made cool stuff.
Brant, you are at the very least not stupid.
Thank you.
He's just bad at the game.
I am terrible at this game.
But yeah, no, I think that what we wanted to do was make a system where me or another programmer can do kind of the work to add new types of challenges, but then we can just put one of our talented designers and one of our talented artists together in a room. They'll make some weapons. They'll put together the art, the stats of the guns, and they can also put it in the game with a challenge and a way for you to kind of and a story even. Like these all these weapons have custom descriptions from Cash Beaumont, and there's a little bit of flavor to each challenge why Cash wants you to do this, and so we can kind of expand the universe in that way without needing a whole lot of programmers' time.
Yeah, we won't have to have an all hands on deck.
Yeah. So we've got a question about how long does it take to make a weapon from concept to completion?
Usually the crew, Dan, Mark, and I get together and talk about, based on the number of calibers that we have available to us. First of all, we look at what is missing, and we're all fairly well versed in firearms, so there's not really much of a concept phase, but we spend our time trying to figure out where we're short on revolvers, or certain calibers could be better represented. Then we sit down and come up with a list of firearms that we'd like to see that are subscribing to that list, and then we divvy up the work, and depending on who's got other stuff to do, sometimes it's just Dan and Mark, sometimes I'll jump in if I have a chance, but those guys are doing most of the heavy lifting on this stuff now. But depending on the complexity of the firearm, it could be 2 days to finish a model, maybe 3, depending on if we're going to do variants and things on them. Another day or so to get the material on there. We have it, then we just apply it to a rig that Seth already made for us for the animations. And then it goes off to audio and then UI to do
audio, UI, QA, design. So there's a whole, it's a pretty long pipeline.
Yeah.
I think that we can do them pretty quickly because they're different people who do a lot of this work. But it's, Brant was talking about all the work the art team does to get these in ship shape. But then, we have to put in some stats that make sense for the balance of the game. You have to have icons for them. We need to make sure they work. Sometimes we'll have animation problems or issues with how the characters are holding them that QA dig up, and then once we have them in the game and can test them together, we can kind of get a sense for if they're balanced well or if they're just need a little bit of adjustment. And so yeah, but how long did it take us to get an entire pack together, right? It's not
thankfully one of the things we call ourselves the gun bros or whatever, Trip. That's my favorite thing in the whole game. I love that. And that you can light that on fire with firecrackers. If it'll come on. Boom.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Thank you,
Fall
Jeff.
down, go
You are
boom.
very well.
That was Jeff.
I make things go boom.
But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty easy for us. Like a melee weapon, we can have at least testable in game same day we decide to make one. But guns are a little bit harder. So yeah, the tail on each one of those is pretty tough. But they're super fun, and we're going to continue to make them. So
Cool.
anyways, I think we're just about at the end of our time
We're
here.
just about out of
Yeah.
time, so yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. We would not be able to do all of this stuff without our wonderful community constantly showing up and giving us their love, because we
right.
are quite needy.
And
so-
we're excited to be able to continue to give you content. And yeah,
And your feedback is how we, determine what you're going to be most excited about, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how we pick our priorities. So.
Yeah. So jump on our Discord if you want to keep engaging with the community, and tune in next week when Jeffrey is actually going to be back. I'm going to take us to the outro screen, where apparently Jeffrey is going to be back with a fun surprise. Now we've been instructed that we need to just kind of be quiet for like 15 seconds. Yeah.
okay, I'll park somewhere where. Oh,
Oh
I
no,
might.
it's okay. We're not giving you game audio, so we can't. Nobody can hear you getting wrecked by that juggernaut.
Oh gosh, here he comes! Boom! Oh.